You've been exploring what your characters don't realize is an odd recursion where you ended up by the means of a high-powered accident at CERN, and you're just about to. You passed a room filled with rats, a dirty pipe, and then a steep, sort of not steep, but tricky passage where you had to balance on a pipe above a pool of water, and you finally made it. And you're standing in front of a heavy metal door with a huge valve sort of door handle. Uh, there's a red blinking light here. No, not blinking. It's an industrial lamp. It's red, but it's not blinking. And yeah, is there anything besides that your character would like to do before I say that you open the door and describe the next room to you?
I picked up a baseball.
Your glorious trophy of the slain foe.
Indeed.
Thanks for saving me when I fell.
Well, you're welcome. That was a bit of a situation we had there.
Try to scrape off as much muck as I can from myself.
The place is generally mucky.
Yes, I want to try to be less mucky.
You spend some time on personal grooming. All right. So who opens the door? The heavy valve door.
If it looks like it might require, then I guess I would.
Okay. You put your hands on the valve and start turning. It's surprisingly well oiled, and it takes a couple of degrees for you to hear a click and the door to slightly make itself ajar. From behind the door, now that that's a little bit open, you can hear that there's a humming, like a generator of sort.
So what I would do is I would ask one of the people with guns to sort of look. I would try to open it just a tiny bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone could try and poke their gun in and see if there's anything that's going to try and shoot us with baseballs to the face.
Sure. Everyone else just cover your ears, because if I have to shoot, drums are gonna burst.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I carefully open it up a tiny bit and let someone peek through.
Okay.
I peek through with my gun.
So this last chamber has.
Oh, it's the last chamber, you say?
There's no exit from the room. Raphael. No, what the fuck is your name? Torsten can see. That Torsten can see. In the middle of this it's not well lit. The little room is lit with a sort of like a factory strobe light in the ceiling. It's a circular light, so that most of the light falls on the middle of the room, with the lower walls just being illuminated by the reflection of this light from the floor. So global illumination effects are active. In the middle of this room is a generator of sorts. You can't really discern if it's electrical, mechanical, whatever, but you can definitely say that it looks like an engine. And at the top of it is sort of like a claw mechanism, and which grasps what looks like a huge cylindrical fuse with lightning sparking inside of it. The whole mechanism is humming quite loudly. And you can see that the cables which you've been following here are in fact connected to this generator, whilst the pipes just continue across the room and into a wall on the other side. Around the generator, just on the edge of the sphere, or the circle of light, there are circles paved into the floor from the stones that this whole place was built from. And there's actually a sitting pillow on each of them, of the circles. So there's four circles with a sitting pillow surrounding this generator.
Well, I guess I open up a tiny bit, looking at Tolston to see if he sees anything, worrisome inside.
Raphael is
clear.
also peeking.
Seems clear.
Well, then I open it up all the way.
That's all you guys see that.
Yeah.
Interesting generator. It is a generator, right?
And it's humming like one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, aren't you the eggheads? Sorry.
What?
Well, is it
Am I wrong?
is it actually generating electricity, or is it just siphoning from this ball of electricity, or the hell does it even need that for?
Yeah.
I look to the other eggheads.
Other eggheads?
Yeah,
You're
well,
not included in this group.
well, maybe my head is slightly egg-shaped.
Are you a conehead?
Maybe. Conehead the barbarian. No.
Well,
Well,
I guess I circle the room a little bit, trying to see if it looks interesting from any point of angle, and if there is like a big red button that says "press me, press me."
There's a little console. It looks like something that belongs into a power station or maybe some sort of other factory from the America's 50s. So buttons are big, dials are big. There is in fact a lever, what I would call, but not
Lever.
yeah, but not like a cylinder which you just like draw like this. It's more like a handle with two parts going into the bottom, and you can like yank it.
I probably gestured towards Raphael because he did so well last time, going like, look at this. Can you figure this out?"
Yes.
Well, Volkov assumed this might take some time, so I think I would just sit on one of the pillows and sort of just observe what happens next.
Now the pillow turns out to be all wet. Like,
It's actually a mimic. It tries to eat me.
So the pillows are actually clean. They're not soggy. They're dry, and they're quite comfortable. For any of you that have contact with sort of like Asian cultures, Eastern cultures, you know that these are meditation pillows. Like, not that most people use them, but there's such a thing. You're supposed to sit on them and.
I go sit down on one.
you were supposed to do the console thing.
well, if he's slacking, I check out the console.
The more time you guys spend in the room, you get a weird feeling. That's the best way how you can describe it. You feel like there's
It's
more
my
to this room.
strange senses tingling.
Exactly. Your strange sense definitely is tingling. You guys that aren't as familiar with the sensation, you just feel like this room is more than it seems. Maybe it can lead you somewhere, though, even if there isn't any obvious exits. Raphael, you also enjoy the comforts of this little pillow, and then Thorsten looks at his board. There's not so much more I can add. The buttons and dials and the lever aren't labeled. There is, though, I mean, something that indicates one of these. What would you call them? An indicator? Like, there's a little screen with a little.
Progress bar.
No, there's no screen. But more like a dial, I think that's the correct word. A piece of paper with a little hand in front of it that sort of twitches and moves a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems to be heading towards the rightmost end of the space it has available, which is indicated with a red color, and it's shaking a little bit.
So it's in the red, or it's approaching the red?
It's close to the red. It's not actually moving, making any progress one or the other way, but it's close to the red.
Well, I can't figure this out. Nothing's labeled. The only thing I can tell is it's probably working at like optimal safe output. Since the little needle is not in the red yet.
So anybody attempting to figure out this device has to roll a difficulty 5 strange task.
I am specialized in the strange.
So that's a difficulty 3 for you.
Woohoo!
Well,
How can I help?
I mean,
I mean, I have the strange and I'm trained in it, and a deep thinker, but I'm not sure how I can use.
so I think easiest to say that you guys basically talk to each other and reason things out.
I could count him as an asset, so a +1 on the roll Emily does. So how it happens in the world is really up to you guys, but basically you try and figure this one out whilst since we decided that Emily's character is sort of the initiative taker, then she gets to make the roll. Also, she is more trained in this sort of task, so it's more beneficial for you stats-wise.
All right. Then I have moved away from anything that seems important, and I'm gonna press my specialize.
Do your worst.
Yay!
I honestly can't see what's
You
transpiring.
succeed.
Wasn't that good of a roll, but
It was good enough.
All right. So you and Raphael realize that this whole device is not a generator. It is in fact only a means of siphoning the energy out of that little transistor. The transistor itself is an artifact of the strange. You don't fully realize what this means, but you do realize that it's otherworldly. It's hyper-advanced technology which you have no means of comprehending without extensive year-long analysis in some lab and possibly help.
I take a picture of it with my smartphone.
You don't take it?
How? It's a big machine.
So
No, the
yeah, but the
transistor.
machine it's on the top of the machine in a sort of like a claw with 4 sort of hands holding this transistor.
Yeah, I don't think I would take it until I realize if it's safe to take.
So we're easily experimenting with some of the dials. You discover how to diminish the output of electricity from the device, and the big handle lever very likely disengages the whole siphoning process and releases the artifact.
Okay, then I probably would go like, well, then we can probably turn it off. Do we want to do that?
Well, do we? Do we know what it powers except for the house?
Well, no.
Maybe it powers this entire reality. Maybe it powers.
Your mom's dildo.
Well, maybe if we turn it off and we'll come, the illusion of this place breaks and we come back home. We don't know.
What's the worst that could happen?
You can die.
Says this.
We're not even here.
No, I pull it and like see what happens.
Nobody waits for Raphael's sane.
Conducts weird science.
Does anybody?
I get ready to catch the thing in case it falls out of the claw.
So anybody wants to stop Megan?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm sitting down, so I'm too far
Too
away.
comfortable, like nah.
All right. So you pull the lever, and immediately the room goes dark,
I pull it back.
and the lights come back on.
Everyone alive?
Everybody's.
I had the exact same idea of just like faking my own death.
Yeah.
So besides being startled by the sudden darkness, everybody's fine.
Everyone's having their humor in
Yeah.
Intact.
Well, okay. So sometimes I get the feeling I should just go like this for a while and see what happens.
Well, why don't you... You said it was the transistor thing that powers everything? Maybe bring that up and look at it? I don't know. You seem to be more up your alley than mine.
Well, I take out my smartphone. I put on the lamp app.
Thank you.
Like,
I thought we had actual flashlights.
Yes. Also.
Yeah, I put it on.
Okay. Then I turn off the light again, and I hope someone has the flashlight out this time.
Yep. People put on their flashlights and smartphone lights. You can see that the claw that holds the magical transistor disengages, and it's just standing on its edge on the bottom of the cylinder. There's still a little bit of lightning coming from it.
I'm doing an Indiana Jones thing.
What are you trying to replace it with?
The heart of Tosten.
But
My grenade. No, that's a horrible idea.
Yes,
You
let's
get a-
electrocute your grenade.
Yes, you guys are a fountain of disasters.
No, I don't think I have anything that I
Wait,
feel.
we have a baseball.
That is true. Can I get the baseball?
Fine, I toss it to you.
I don't catch it. I'm a nerd.
I feel like there should be some, what's it called, a GM intrusion here. I just don't know particularly what
You
should.
toss the baseball. You actually hit the thing in the thing,
Aw.
and it falls. Like, damn it. No, but if I can, I want to try and replace. I don't even know if it's gonna weigh the same, but I'm gonna.
Probably not.
No,
but,
probably not.
you can
Probably
roll
don't
a
even need to replace it. And what's it gonna cipher from the?
We have no idea what it does. What if like poison arrows come out somewhere?
You can roll a difficulty for speed roll.
All right.
Failure.
Well, I'm not that surprised.
Neither am I.
Well, how is this a failure? I rolled the exact same thing as last time.
So the thing that happens is that you're preparing to do the infamous Indiana Jones move. Anyway, as soon as your skin touches this transistor, you get a vision. You can see the walls of this room tremble as if this was an old TV set, and the colors sort of slide away from each other, ending up on the RGB channels ending up on different, slightly opposite spaces. And you get a vision of a world, a floating island in the middle of space. There's dragons, there's magic, there's taverns, and there's gods walking upon the world. And that world somehow, you believe, can lead you home. The vision ends as soon as your skin loses contact with the object.
Fuck that shit. I don't want to go home.
That's only Megan that got that vision, though.
Point.
No, I think that if it was a vision that disappeared when I touched it, it was an extremely short one, because if I saw something, I probably pulled away
Yeah.
instantly, saw this,
Exactly.
and went like, well, that's interesting.
You can still see after images in the mind's eye. It feels a little bit like you can travel in that world and then explore it a little bit. And in you feel that you have the ability to go there if you so desire.
Well, then I think I say something like, I think I can get us out of here. Perhaps not all the way home, but out of here.
And where?
I'm not sure, but I saw an island that seems extremely different from the world we're used to. It felt magical. And I don't know, perhaps that's the kind of thing we need to come home, to be able to go back home.
Well, I get up and approach. I will have to trust you on this. What do we do?
Well,
Well,
We could live out here in a forest in the middle of nowhere, or we can go somewhere else. Why not go somewhere else? How do we go somewhere else?
so Megan, you have the feeling that if you continue meditating and focusing on this world that you got a vision of, you might be able to travel there somehow.
Okay. I would suggest that the other group members touch the stone or whatever it is, just to see if they also get the same image, because otherwise I would probably have to like sit everyone down, meditate, and be like the Zen leader, like imagine a place that looks like this with dragons and shit not. But it's easier if everyone can see it for themselves. I would try and make people see it for themselves first.
I feel convinced, so I say, that sounds trippy, and then I touch it.
So you get a vision of that world, a world where magic is a rule and not just fantasy, a world where people take up arms and travel in search of glory and renown and perhaps even immortality. a world not unlike many of the fantasy games that you've played online and read about in books and seen in movies.
Yeah, I'm totally in.
Well, I touch it afterwards.
So I'm sort of running out of creative descriptions of the same place. But one thing that's very interesting in all the flashes that you get is that you get a short glimpse of your friend's face, Alexandra, amongst all the other things you've seen.
That's slightly worrisome. I touch it and I probably look a bit dubious. It's like,
Don't yeah.
Well, I suppose I should test it as well.
This is when it turns out to be a Russian roulette thing, and the last person actually it just burns out of existence. Like, oh.
I want to remember that you wanted to seek glory and thrills, and that is definitely some place that will allow you to do so. All right, so we basically have all we need. So Megan is going to be making a roll, the translation roll, which is a difficulty-free intellect task. And after that, we're going to get to the description of what actually happens. So all of you basically, okay, I'm starting to overuse the same word as Mike. Megan explains to you that she wants you to sit down and really concentrate on the visions and focus on them and try to think of yourself as if you were there. And the pillows here seem to be just the thing you need to be able to sit down and meditate. So if everybody's ready, I think Megan could do the roll.
so it's difficulty 3 and a +1 bonus, basically.
Without applying any effort, which she can do.
But I would apply effort, and since I have 2 in edge, it's 1 intellect point. And that's it then.
And then you can re-roll this because you're a paradox. If you
We
Actually-
helpers.
When I fail.
So Jade,
Yep.
out of a purely meta gaming or a power gaming, since you get a free re-roll, there is no point in you actually spending effort on this roll.
But she can't spend effort on both rolls.
She
Yes,
can.
you can. It said so.
Yeah, so you can decide to not spend effort
Effort
on the
this
first
time.
roll, and if you fail, you can spend effort on the second roll, unless you really want to be certain and spend edge.
But I mean, she could have like a half. I mean, it might still be a point to
Yeah.
spend effort,
yeah,
because
well,
you don't know how the rolls are gonna be.
that is true.
I'll just spend the effort.
We who are helping, do we actually make any rolls, or our help is just automatic? I just automatically shorten it to 10 minutes instead of.
Yeah,
Four
I don't see any actual roles for translation other than the initiator.
No, it's you that help do not roll anything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you roll, let's see.
Can she count the meditation pillow as a bonus?
Well, she
Uh,
succeeds, so
Sorry?
she succeeded. So
Okay. So let me start describing what's going on then. This is going to be hopefully exciting. You sit on the pillows and start focusing on the nice new space which you just witnessed by touching of the artifact. The walls start to shimmer, becoming a little blurry at first, and you get a bit of a feeling like they become out of sync somehow, shaking rapidly and then returning back to normal, until they completely fade away from your field of perception. You think they might be still there, it's just that you're not looking around on them, or maybe you're not really in the same space, at least entirely. Sitting on in these circles that were engraved or created at the floor, which now appear to you as glowing white lines, you find yourself floating in a great blue and purple cloud, suspended in midair, but still firmly sitting upon the pillows and not falling. Gusts of wind ruffle your hair and move your clothes as spirals of smoke appear and disappears out of nowhere, with lightning bolts jumping between these clouds. Torsten senses especially well that you're traveling in a tunnel of sorts. Not a visible one, but a tunnel of space, pure space. And he can feel how the different energies are trying to pull you stray away from the path that you're going to. And you can, with the power of your mind, actually shove those distractions away. And after what feels like hours, but is only mere minutes of this travel, you can start to see a shape appear amongst the clouds. A shape familiar, like a floating island amongst all this chaos. The shape vaguely resembles a figure of a man in a fetal position, only encased in an entire landscape, as if it was his prison. And at the same time you start to understand that what you are seeing is the eternal prison of the dead god Lotan, who is in the center of Ardain, the place which you now know the name of, which you're traveling to. And just like that, with a blink of an eye, you are sitting on beds, 4 beds in a room, filled with the smell of hay. There's a little window right on the wall, on the plastered wall, from which the daylight of a rising sun is coming in. Your bodies and your clothes change very rapidly, and this is where Dimitri's powers come mostly into play, feeling as there's a process that needs to be finished before the disconnection from the previous place is fully done. You focus on hastening this translation or acclimatization to the new place, imagining how these people look and understanding their lives and remembering their memories. So it seems, once you're in this place, it seems like you've just recently woke up and got yourself prepared for the day, meaning that you're fully dressed. You are now invaded by these new memories of these lives that you were just inhabited, of the people that live in the world of Ardain, the world filled with magic and monsters and dead gods. All of this information suddenly appears in your head and feels completely natural, as if you've lived here your entire lives, even if details of these lives might be a little bit sketchy, not entirely materialized just yet. You look around and you find your equipment, your familiar equipment, such as mage's robes, a sword, a shield, the staff of a druid, or actually a spear in your case, I believe. And suddenly the feeling of strangers is gone. You're just sitting here in a tavern at which you arrived the previous night, a group of adventurers looking for glory and means to achieve their goals, traveling to the great citadel of, the name of which I've forgotten. Sorry, I need to look it up. Great citadel of Hazurium. You've stopped for the night in a little city, a village known as Kurimeru. It's a small mining town, a day's travel from the capital of the queendom, the citadel of Hazurium. And yeah, you've known each other for quite some time and been working together since you all see the benefit of collaboration and have been quite successful in doing so. So you've decided that to really make it, you need to travel to the big city and sort of take on the big assignments and so on. That's basically, I think, what I have to say, if I haven't forgotten anything.
Probably like stand up and go. I probably pick up like the battle axe and I test it like, what? How?
You have a battle
How
axe.
do I know that we're going to Hasurium? Why do I know that we're in a queendom?
Why do I know about dragons?
Why do I hate them so much?
Why
So,
do you hate them so much?
Wait, I can understand dragons. Can you understand dragons?
No, I can't even understand you.
What the fuck?
Why do you hate dragons?
So while you
That's
guys,
it.
You
No
keep
more
telling
mushrooms
us, but
for
you've
you,
never
people.
said so before.
while you look around your surroundings, you find that some of the equipment seems very familiar. Raphael, instead of the tube of glue which you had stashed away in the previous place, you now possess of a brittle rune stone, a piece of sandstone with a rune engraved on it.
Okay.
And instead of obviously you don't have a smartphone in this sort of medieval-like setting, but you do have two tiny cages, no bigger than my coffee mug here, and the inside of which there's a little tiny feathered dragon in each of the cages. Small creatures, which you're quite fond of.
Aw.
Don't forget his
Thorsten,
artifacts.
surprisingly, still has the key exactly as it was in the previous recursion,
Uh,
and Raphael still possesses the same crystal which you stole in the previous
The
recursion.
box with Mentos.
Yeah, that's the dragons now.
Oh, what? What? Okay, I don't have the mobile app anymore.
Nope, you don't have a mobile phone.
Oh
All
yeah,
of these.
I remember I used the mobile app to
Disable.
what?
Yeah, you disabled one of the turrets, no?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it disappeared.
Hmm.
So you don't have that anymore.
Yeah. You do still have the artifact you picked up, the crystal that summons small creatures that are hostile.
Yeah.
Thorsten only has this small key which he found, which still hasn't changed. Then, Dimitri, you possess a gargoyle statue,
Not the
which
yellow
is.
pill.
Sorry?
Yellow pill. Which one is the gargoyle statue? The yellow pill or the belt?
The belt.
Okay, so it's a gargoyle statue.
Yes.
How big?
It's actually quite sizable. It's like a hawk.
What?
Hawk size.
Seriously?
Yes.
Why did you bring that?
It's a powerful artifact.
Uh,
You know that.
smash it in someone's skull.
And the yellow pill is.
The yellow pill has become a gemstone, which you're familiar with as just a thing that people can wear here. You attach it to your temple.
Okay.
And now finally we go to Megan, who's
Who
now
only
called
has
Mira.
weapons.
You have a rune,
A what?
which you don't know the meaning of. It's just a piece
Instead of my grenade.
Nope, it's instead of your sniper scope.
Okay.
Instead of your grenade, you have a stone with a rune on it, and the rune is that of a destruction god. And then finally, you possess of an ornate, beautiful golden amulet, which you wear around your neck.
Right.
That replaces your leather jacket.
So I have a rune, but the rune is not on anything.
It's a piece of paper with a rune on it.
Okay, it's a paper rune.
Hmm.
Okay. For some reason, I feel more inclined to toss my stone with the rune of destruction than the actual grenade.
That's what happens when you suddenly live out the life.
Adam, a small question. Do
Yes.
we count as being rested, so we actually heal up, or are we still?
Oh, yes, you're completely rested.
Woohoo!
You're basically, rule-wise, what happens is these bodies didn't actually exist before you translated into this recursion. They are summoned from nothing, including their history, which is a bit of a mindfuck because people have met you in
Yeah.
the past, but that's just the way it goes. But all of you are completely rested.
All right. For some reason, I sort of would like to try and decipher everyone's ciphers again, but
Which is ironic because you now probably lost your specialization in the strange.
no, I don't. I am strange.
But don't you only have a trained strange and not specialized?
No, I get both me and Raphael are trained in the strange, but me being strange makes me specialized in the strange. So I am still specialized in the strange.
All right.
That's the only thing that remains true. I am really weird.
How about we do it like this, a little bit streamlined? I'll make you roll once.
Yeah.
You can spend effort on that roll, and every threshold that you actually succeed, I'll tell you what it is. So we'll save a little bit of time.
Like we did last time, and that did not go well for me.
Well,
All right, so
if you prefer to roll separately.
But what do I actually have to put? I can't put a difficulty then. No, I can only say that I roll an effort. So I would have to roll just a d20 in roll 20, not actually using my character sheet for that.
A little bit. That's, I guess, easiest.
And get +1 from Zol, since he's also.
If Raphael decides, no, whatever you're called now, Death Star.
Okay, so I get plus him. I have specialized, so I get something from that. But I guess we'll have to like calculate all of this when I'm done.
It's fine. Yeah, you roll a d20, then you get +1 on that roll, and then every difficulty is lowered by 2 because you're specialized.
How did you roll in d20? Is it?
I'll write it in the.
Slash d20, d, I think.
Slash R. Okay, not.
And then you have to make a space between the R and D. I think.
And that's all, not the +1.
If you want, you can add.
Oh, you can add +1.
Because that's the effort in that case.
No, that's Zol.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then like this, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
16. Dang.
I roll a 16 thanks to Sol, and then I am specialized and using effort.
Oh yeah. So it's -3. Okay, so 16 divided by 3 is what?
So 15 divided by 3 is 5.
Okay, and then
And 3 extra effort means she would manage a 8.
Woohoo!
you learn everything.
I'm awesome! I like this life!
Let's
I
stay
wish
here.
Right, let's start with in the order I have it written down. Mike, your gargoyle statue is actually a golem, which attaches to your back and lifts you, allowing you to fly for a short period of time. The gemstone is a strength boost.
Nice.
Okay, next person. We have Zol with the glue.
Well, no glue anymore.
No. A permanent bond is created between any two physical objects. The strength of this bond is equal to the cipher level, meaning that since your glue is...
You mean brittle runestone?
Exactly.
So how does that work? You take like two things and push them against the runestone and they stick, or you like crumble it and.
I thought it was like a emotional bond. You forced people to fall in love by pressing them against the runestone.
He presses the two objects against each other and then channels the power from the runestone, which he possesses on a brittle stone, into these objects, and they become welded or attached, however. And if anybody wants to break these items apart afterwards, then that person needs to succeed on a difficulty 5 roll of whatever means.
I will hide this between Michael and his golem.
That would be very sad because that golem actually dies after an hour.
Ew.
A little bit.
Okay, and the dragons?
The dragons are a telepathical bond dragons. They enter your ear and the ear of another person and allow you to communicate telepathically. It's just telepathic.
Oh, cool. Walkie-talkies.
Basically.
Fablefish.
And then there's the recursion key is actually, you know how you got here by touching that artifact in the previous recursion? This key is a key to the recursion of that weird house, whatever that place is. So using this key, you will never ever have a problem of getting back there if you ever would wish to.
Okay, so it isn't spent when I use it. I can.
No. It's in fact an artifact,
Mm-hmm.
which
Cool.
doesn't spend. Not that you don't actually need it. It's more of like for other people. You can always translate to a place you've once been to, but this makes it significantly easier.
So this counts still as a cipher, though.
No, it doesn't. It's an artifact.
Cool.
We get XP for it then.
I think you already did.
No, we only got an XP for one artifact, and that's the one that Zol has.
All right, then you'll get XP for this one.
But we'll take that in the end, I assume, or do we do
Yeah,
it now?
I'll
Since we
just.
want-
So the sniper module, the scope that Megan had, is for the next hour. The weapon's effective range is increased to 3 kilometers on any ranged weapon.
This is what my paper does now.
Yeah. On any ranged weapon that you apply this rune to, it can shoot up to 3 kilometers. So if you have a slingshot or a bow and arrow, or if you throw knives at people.
I can't even see that far. I'm gonna toss my spear.
And there's the grenade. Explodes in an immediate radius, inflicting damage equal to the cipher's level. So your level was 5. Roll a d100 for the type of damage, and it's self-destructing, corrosive, electrical, heat to drain, fire, or shrapnel. I'll paste it here. And I think it's the last artifact. It's called effect resistance. Let's see what it actually does again. Effect resistance. That's your amulet. When activated, the cipher provides a chance for additional resistance to direct damaging effects of all kinds, except blunt force, slashing, or piercing attacks for a day. If the level of the attack is less than or equal to the level of the cipher, which is 6, the user gains an additional defense roll to avoid the attack. On a successful defense roll, treat the attack as if the user had succeeded on his regular defense roll. So basically, you get to re-roll defense rolls from not physical attacks for a day. Betrayer, you all know about the Betrayer. Basically, Betrayer was one of the incarnations of the Maker, the main god who created this world and imprisoned Lotan. He was the incarnation that killed the Maker. And he's still alive, the only one of the incarnations that's currently not missing. He lives in the fortress of Megadon in the south and tries to destroy the world by using his clones, basically. And other devious means. There's other facts about Ordain which I can bring up. Well, okay, obviously, Ordain operates under the laws of magic. 2 of you are actually spellcasters. A lot of the magic comes from spirits. When a person is slain in Ordain, their spirit travels into the underworld and can still be interacted with. Things from the strange sometimes attack Ordain or end up on the edges of it. So you don't really know what the strange is, but there's basically something that you just traveled through that literally Ordain is suspended in. So it's like a floating island in the midst of all of this. And things from that place, that strange place, end up in Ordain regularly. And things like these artifacts you possess are very likely to be from there. Even creatures that are fairly dangerous travel into Ordain from the strange. And there's a lot of effort going into fighting off demons of Lotan, basically spirits that have been touched by him and turned evil. There's the Homunculi and other agents of the Betrayer, and then there's just random weird shit that ends up here from the strange. So the world is in constant peril, even though it's not cataclysmical most of the time, at least not what the common populace is aware of. Most people just spend their lives farming or chopping wood, unaware of all this that's going on in the background.
I guess we head on off to Haruzima, or whatever the place was called.
Something like that. Hurzum. Citadel Hazurium. That is unfortunately the name of it. So obviously this whole translation process has been quite difficult to comprehend by us, the players, and even more by the characters that we're playing. I'm not quite sure I was here for if you had any conversation about how you guys are feeling. We started with that, and then I interrupted you with translating your artifacts. But I think that was going the right direction, sort of being freaked out by the fact that you're in a different world with different lives and still remembering your past.
Yeah, so I think I'm just sort of trying to make sense of this and like, what even?
Well,
Proceed.
we can't really figure anything out with an empty stomach. Bless you.
Thank you.
Maker bless you.
Hmm?
So how about we all go and get some breakfast, because it's morning?
Makes perfect sense.
Eh,
The smell of something that resembles fried bacon comes from downstairs.
How much can you get for 1 crown?
We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Probably like a stay at an inn for the night.
Okay.
I actually
Are you
don't know.
rich?
I'm just making this up. I wonder if there's any guidelines for that.
Could be good to know to find out if any one of us is insanely rich,
Hmm.
or we're all just extremely poor.
How much money does everyone have?
I have 600 crowns.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Let's mob him.
You are rich and I am poor. Now we know. I have 30.
I mentioned to the wolf that I can perform a fortune telling for 100 crowns.
Well, if you look at Ordine equipment, a meal is 2 crowns, a very, very nice meal up to 50 crowns. Rations for 1 day, 15 crowns.
Where do you find that?
A very fine meal.
Page 90.
Ah.
Oh, if anything, my starting equipment, if I'm going to Earth, I get $2,000. In Ardain, I get 200 crowns.
So a crown is roughly $10?
Maybe
No, I'll tell you.
if it's
So-
directly translated.
So I have an explorer's pack, which is worth 150, which is 50 feet of rope, 3 days rations, free spikes, hammer, warm clothes, sturdy boots, and free torches.
For
For 1 person. I have that in my backpack.
yeah, but how much did it cost, that
100
package?
150 crowns.
Okay.